Reuters journalist Jan Wolf shared a couple of clips from a documentary aired in Australia, from ABC News Australia actually, of an Australian journalist confronting Jeanine Pirro for the lies that she spread about the 2020 election. And her reaction to this confrontation here is very telling because, as you're going to see, she has nothing to say about the lies that she spread. Take a look.
Thank you again.
From Australia, I just wanted to ask you, do you still think that Dominion and Smartmatic stole the election from President Trump?
I'm much easier. Would you mind taking a picture?
What's the answer? Fox Security quickly appeared with their own questions.
If you are who you say you are, why are you not being cooperative? You're with the press, right? We're a press agency, so we're being cooperative. Why you can't be cooperative?
I don't have to tell you what I'm doing and who I am because I'm standing here in a public place and I'm filming, and you don't own the building. You don't own the right to the image of the building. Perhaps it was this moment that finally put paid to my request to interview the current Fox CEO, Lachlan Murdoch.
I mean, she just stood there like a deer in headlights. Had nothing to say. I don't know about you, but if I really believed strongly about something, I would be able to easily defend that belief. But Judge Jeanine Pirro, she knows that the election was not stolen. Judge Jeanine Pirro is a propagandist. She saw that all of the eyeballs were migrating away from Fox News and going to OAN, to Newsmax. Because a lot of Fox News hosts, they weren't propagating the big lie as much as these smaller networks were. I mean, it's not like everyone at Fox News was pushing back against this narrative, but they weren't all in lockstep as they usually are. But Judge Jeanine Pirro, she knew that if she deviated from the narrative that her viewers wanted her to push, she would lose viewers, she would lose ratings, and she was chasing ratings. That's why she spread this conspiracy theory. But she doesn't actually believe it. She knows, she's smart enough to know that the election was not stolen. As dumb as she acts, she's smart enough to acknowledge that basic fact. And the damage that people like her caused to our democracy is irreparable. Now, the full documentary is pretty long. It's called Fox and the Big Lie, Trump Returns to Campaign Trail Amid Stolen Election Lawsuits, and I'll link to it down below. But before you check that out, I do want to show one more clip to you. This one featuring Sidney Powell with the same Australian reporter who confronted her about very basic facts about the claims that she made, and as you're going to see, she refused to answer any questions and ended up abruptly ending the interview. Take a look.
Let's get a few simple facts straight. In how many states were Smartmatic machines and software used in the 2020 election?
I don't even know the exact numbers.
But you were making some big statements, very dramatic, critical statements about Smartmatic. You must have known what their involvement was in the election.
Oh, you'd have to go look at our complaint with respect to the 4 states that we filed legal complaints in to get the details of that.
A Google search would have shown you that Smartmatic was operating in one single county in California.
Well, I'm saying I think their involvement's probably a lot bigger than that.
What research or fact-checking did you do at the time to find out what Smartmatic's actual involvement in the election was?
Do you work for Smartmatic?
You've made an allegation against Smartmatic that they stole a presidential election. I think it's incumbent on both of us to know what Smartmatic's involvement was. It seems like a pretty foundational fact.
I mean, I'm confused right now about why you're here.
Because you made a series of very strong allegations against Smartmatic and against Dominion, containing many errors of fact. Do you accept the fact now that the company that you accused of stealing a national election only operated in one county, in LA, in California? One county, one state.
No, I'm not prepared to accept that fact. I think Smartmatic's involvement was far more significant than that. Do I think they're trying to minimize their involvement? Of course I do.
You said that Smartmatic owns Dominion. How do you justify such a basic factual error?
I'm going to stop this interview. It's wholly inappropriate in the litigation that we're in.
But we're not even in the area of great dispute. These are the simple facts of who owns what.
No, we're done. I'm sorry.
These are facts.
when we are in litigation against me personally,
I understand that, but
for
we're
billions
yes,
of dollars.
I understand that these are very serious.
Now, let me remind you that Sidney Powell's lawyers in defense of her after she was hit with the defamation lawsuit claimed that no reasonable person would take the claims that she made about the election being stolen seriously. And that's true, but unfortunately, it seems like we don't have that many reasonable people here in the United States because millions of Americans believe the lies that people like her spread. And I know people might wonder, Mike, why are we talking about the 2020 election in 2021? Why are we talking about Donald Trump? Because this is important. Donald Trump might still run for president again in the future. And this lie, it's still believed by millions of Americans. At least half of the Republican Party believes this lie. So the people who propagated this lie, this conspiracy theory, they haven't been held accountable. And if there's zero accountability for harmful lies about democracy, then guess what? That incentivizes this behavior again, to where any future election that doesn't go the way that Republicans want it to go, what are they going to do? They're going to claim that it was stolen. Because if there's no consequences for these lies that are dangerous, then why not do it again? You didn't do anything wrong. It was stolen from you. It was robbed. And democracy can't survive under these circumstances. I mean, think about this. It took centuries for the United States government to socially get everyone to accept democracy. Like it's embedded culturally. We all believe in democracy. Even authoritarian Republicans who are anti-mask, they show up to these school board meetings and the first thing they scream is freedom, right? We all supposedly believe in democracy because we were conditioned to believe in democracy. But in the span of less than a year, Donald Trump and a couple of ghouls like Jeanine Pirro, Sidney Powell, and other actors, they undid all of that, delegitimized our entire electoral process. And they got people to believe this big lie that is going to kill democracy if people don't come back to reality. Now, that's not to say that you can't criticize our democracy. I think that our democracy needs to be more democratic. I think we have to abolish the Electoral College. We need proportional representation. We need multi-parties, a multi-party system. There's a lot that I would do to further enhance democracy, but democratization is an ongoing project, right? It's not like you become a democracy and that's it, you're finished. No, it's an ongoing process, and each generation is supposed to add to the process, further enfranchise more people, expand rights to people. But in this generation, we've taken great strides backwards to get people to believe not only that democracy no longer works in the United States, but that authoritarianism, maybe a coup, might be preferable. So the people who spread these lies, they have to be confronted, and they should never be able to live this down because of how harmful it is. So I give credit to that Australian news reporter for caring and confronting people like Jeanine Pirro. Their responses should tell you everything that you need to know. They don't believe this. They're lying to you. If you're a Fox News viewer, they were lying to you. They were telling you what they thought you wanted to hear.
Girly Mike Fettuccine needs your support on Patreon. What a loser. Visit patreon.com/Humanist Report to support the low ratings Humanist Report. Sad. My views are much higher.